and gentlemen. Hi everybody! Welcome to today's video blog. It's live with Nina and Sam. Just kidding. So today I have a special guest, Nina Duran, and we would like to tell you a little bit of the chisme and the scoop of how this whole business marriage went down.
And it is a marriage.
It is.
It's a great marriage though.
A lot of people kind of ask us, like, how did this happen, and why are you at the paper, and how did Nina get back to the paper? I thought she was working somewhere else. And let me tell you,
it's a story.
Life is a novella, okay? If it ain't, then you're not living. So I don't know where to start. Oh, okay, so go back to October of 2015.
2015.
And I actually was a little bit earlier than that, in the September. Yeah. And I had talked to Nina, and I was talking to her. We've already known each other for a few years, and I was talking to her, and she was looking to work somewhere else, and I was looking to expand Heartfire. And I could not find the right partner. I couldn't find the right person who would be vested in my company and help me grow and had the skill set and all that good stuff.
And in the meantime, I wanted to find a place where I was doing more than just I didn't want to be another employee for another company. I wanted to work somewhere where I knew that the company I was choosing to work for was giving back to the community, was trying to do something for the city of San Antonio, which I've always loved so much.
So when she came on board, I was like, okay, girl, how much do you need? Because I need you to come work for Prime Media. You're very talented. You have the skill set. You've got way more than, I just saw the value in what she has to offer. And I felt like other people didn't quite see that. And so I knew from the beginning, I was like, okay, she's got what it takes. So she came on board, and we were doing really well. Within the first 2 months of us working together, we doubled our revenue.
Yeah,
which
crazy.
For me was a miracle, because I've been doing this for years by myself, and so it was hard to see change, hard to see progress.
She had two Sams.
There was me and me. So then coming on with her, I was like, okay, we've got something going here, so let's keep it going. Well, this is where it all went down, people, and I'll let you take this story.
So, one of the funny things, aside from like Heartfire Media becoming a more successful company, I told Samantha, I was like, I hate living paycheck to paycheck. And this is a mentality that I've always had. And I remember her kind of like stopping me in my tracks and telling me, like, it's a choice to live paycheck to paycheck. Like, I'm pretty sure if you look at your finances, there are things you can change or move around that will afford you the flexibility you want to have. And not only that, but you'll be able to, save money. And here I'm thinking, okay, me save money? I've never been able to save money. I've always been a paycheck to paycheck kind of person. It didn't matter where I was at. And, I guess there's also this misconception of people thinking that we make a lot of money. I can tell you guys right now, we don't. We ain't got no dollar bills.
Make it right.
We don't. And I hope Sam doesn't mind me saying this, but when I signed on to Heartfire, I was making $40,000 a year, right? Enough that should be able to sustain my year, but it wasn't. It wasn't sustaining my year.
And I was like, hold on, you have this much experience, you have your master's degree, you have this and that, and you're still broke? Hold on. No, girl.
Yeah.
Let's sit down. Let's look at your numbers.
Exactly. So Samantha, she's like, we are going to spend Friday. She designated a day. She's like, we're going to spend Friday. You're going to sit next to me. Do you remember? She printed out an expense sheet, and we went through all my expenses. I had to print out my bank account statements, and I had to highlight in blue and yellow and orange and green highlighter, what money I was spending at HEB, what was spent on entertainment, what was spent on eating out.
That was a big thing.
It was literally life-changing. Not only was I spending an average of like $900 a month on eating out.
$900?
Crazy.
I was like, dang, girl, where are you going for
my
steak?
Entertainment, like going to movies, spending money on my boys, it was like around $700. I mean, it was just,
Did you cook at home? I don't think you ever cooked
I wasn't
at
even
home.
cooking at home.
I remember.
But I don't cook. I mean, I do now. I've had to learn. Because
Macaroni
I remember
and
you
cheese
told me, you're like, just buy
and
a
cereal.
shitload of chicken. You prep on Sundays, and you're good for the week.
I even told her I would go grocery shopping with her,
did.
because she was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I was like, there's a way.
And she told me, she was like, Nina, there is a way to make this happen. You can move up and progress financially, and you can do it, but you have to pay off all your debt. You have to pay off all your debt. And so she gave me a list of things I had to do. Not only did I fill out that expense sheet, but I also had to create a list of my debt, greatest to least. And one by one, we tackled these credit cards. She told me instead of paying $50 towards Home Depot, you're going to pay $100.
Oh, with least to greatest, sorry.
Yeah, or least to greatest. Yeah. There you go.
Smallest
and so, and I told her, I'm like, but then I'm only going to have like $300 in my account or $100 in my account. She's like, you still have something in your account, and you need to be grateful for that. And that was really hard for me to wrap myself around, because a lot of us, we feel like whatever we have in our bank account, that equals our worth. So if I only have $100 in my bank account, then I'm only worth $100. Like, mama can't eat. She put me also on a what do you call the cash? Like, I carry cash all the time.
And the envelopes.
The
envelope system.
On the envelope system. So we figured out a number. This is how much cash you have for eating out, for spending, for entertainment, whatever. And when you're done with that, that's it. Like, you're done. No more, no putting anything on credit card, no anything.
This is one thing that a lot of people might do, but it killed me about Nina. She rented her washer and dryer.
For a long time.
Was it like Rent-A-Center, or what was it?
Warehouse appliance.
Girl. Who rents? And so what she was doing was $25 a month.
45.
Okay, she was paying $45 a month for the washer and the dryer. And I said, you will never own your washer and dryer. And she's like, well, I don't care because it's not a big deal to me. And I was like, yeah, but you're going to spend quadruple.
Which I had already done.
What she had already done, had she just paid it off and bought it cash when you save up the savings. So it just killed me, and she just couldn't wrap her mind around it. So when she actually did have the amount of cash in her checking account and her savings account, I said, go and buy the washer and dryer. She was like, no,
I'm not going to do it.
I can't. I said, oh my God.
But I finally did it, though.
But she did.
I finally did it.
But those are the things that you did,
Yeah, and what's crazy is, even though this may not seem like a lot of money to you guys, but what's funny is I started this notebook, and it's upstairs in my office, and Samantha sees it. I started this notebook. She told me from the 1st to the 14th, you're going to pay out your bills. You're going to track everything that you do. I started doing that. Again, I am a 35-year-old woman with 2 boys, a 14-year-old and an 8-year-old. I've never had a savings in my life. What's crazy is now I have like a little over $2,000 in savings. Am I making a crazy load of money? No, because as you family business owners know,
it's like a roller coaster.
It's tough. It's tough.
We're balling and then we're poor, and then we're balling and then we're poor.
Yeah, it's really tough to be in this industry. But again, that is something I would have never accomplished without Samantha's help. Seriously, she was like, all right, girl, you've got $300 for the next 2 or 3 weeks, whatever it was. That is all you have to spend. And when that went out to this day. Actually, I'm going to show you. This is funny. I wasn't planning on doing this. I have cash, right? We just had payday. I pulled out my cash. I probably have, here's $100. 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have $145 to last me till the 15th of this month. $145. When this ends, it ends.
And something else I remember now. Something else. Is my hair all crazy? Okay. Something else I remember that she did with her children, which is very important for everybody to learn, is, when you have kids and you go out to eat and y'all go to the bookstore, was the bookstore, you go to, I don't know, Chuck E. Cheese or whatever it is, movies. Your kids want things, and of course you're going to get them a little something here and there. Well, there was no limit. There was no boundaries on what she was spending with the kids, because she wasn't even keeping track of that. So what she did was, and I told her to do this, you're going to give one son an allowance, and you're going to the other one an allowance for every 2 weeks, and say, this is your money. If you want to buy books and toys and junk and candy, then go ahead. Yep. But after this, you don't get any more. Or you can save it for something later.
Yep. And I totally implemented that. They had $25 per my paycheck, so $50 for the month, each kid that they could use on if they wanted to. It could be anything. We had dinner at home, but they wanted Sonic. Okay, I'll go get you your Sonic, but guess what? It's coming out of your pool. Or they wanted a book from Half Price Books, or they wanted to go jump at Thin Air. Anything, it came out of their pool. And what was crazy is they very quickly learned that they wanted to save that money to build it up. And especially with my older son, Elijah, he all of a sudden was like, hey mom, like he knew, he's like, I have $150 saved with you. I'm like, son of a, but he did it the right way, and he knew what he wanted to spend it on. But at the same time, even with that, I was still saving an extreme amount of money. It was crazy.
So transition over to the business side of things.
Yeah.
And so in the midst of us rolling and we're doing our thing and working together, she gets a call that changed everything. Mm-hmm. And I'll let you explain that.
My mama calls me in January of 2016. It was January 20th of 2016. And we found out that La Prensa, or she told me, she's like, La Prensa is dying. The newspaper is dying. I don't know what to do. I need you to come help me. And Samantha and I, funny enough, we've always had big dreams together. We always thought like we were going to own more than what we had together. And we'd even joked about owning La Prensa, having this like whole thing. And so I come to the office, and sure enough, there are stacks and stacks of mail dating back to October of 2015 that have never been opened. I'm talking mail from the IRS, mail from vendors, mail from credit cards, loans that we had defaulted on. It was awful. I've never had any business experience. I've never been a business owner. I've always worked with businesses, but as far as like, now you're in charge, here are the books, I've never done that before.
You mean your mommy and daddy didn't give you all this fortune and millions of dollars to live off of?
They did not. God. I was not a Hilton. They did not. They gave me a mess to clean up. I mean, that's really what it was. And so one thing I knew walking in, and this is crazy, and this is, again, true story. One of the first things I did when I got to La Prensa was I needed to figure out what we owed people, what our monthly operating budget was. In other words, how much money did I need to stay alive every month? In January of 2016, it was $146,000. $146,000 for payroll, for you name it, just to stay alive. Now, a year later, and actually we did this within like the first 9 months, our operating expenses are now $86,000. That is a huge savings for La Prensa. Did I know what I was doing? No. But what I did know is that Samantha had taught me these very simple yet practical principles that not only fit into my personal life, but fit into my business life. I knew that, okay, if La Prensa is making this much money a month, then I can only afford to pay out this much money a month. And then I had to look at my expenses, and I needed to see what can I cut, where can I trim. We had to go bikini style, cover the important stuff, and just kind of go from there.
And there was a lot of stuff that we were like, what?
There was a lot.
You're paying for what and why?
We had 3 storages. We had 3 vehicles. 2 of them that weren't even being used.
Liquidation,
I mean,
that's what we did.
We were just like, instead of this being like, Bill, we were just getting rid of stuff. It was like left and right. And Samantha was extremely instrumental in helping me, and not only with the financial side, but even just with the synergy of having someone there that you can depend on, that you can ask questions to. Because a lot of things, something I noticed with business owners, we try to do it alone.
Right.
Oh, I can do this by myself. I got it. I don't want people to, I don't want them to come into my territory. I'm too embarrassed to say how much debt I'm in, or I'm too embarrassed to whatever. Thank God I had somebody like Samantha to help guide me, and someone that I could come to when I'm like tearing out my hair.
Oh,
like,
and she cried.
I cried all the time.
I'm not a crier. She's a crier. And I felt so bad. She's like,
I don't know how to do this.
And then finally I had my breakdown.
She did.
Took me a while, but
y'all know that's
that
a whole other story. But
go to YouTube on that one.
But long story short, when you look at how much money you have coming in, how much money you have going out, there's not a lot of people that do that. There's not a lot of people. So many of us, it's so easy to like, let's just go eat out. Let's just go out to lunch. Let's just go do this. And then you wonder why you're struggling. You wonder why you're living paycheck to paycheck. I guarantee you, if this worked for me, and I honestly thought, I remember when I sat down with you too, I was like, girl, you're not going to find anything. And she found a hole. She's like, you don't need this, you don't need this, you don't need that, you need to minimize this. I mean, it was crazy. It's crazy how much we take advantage of our paychecks and the money we have coming in, and then how much we don't put into savings.
She's a minimalist too.
I am.
By the way, if y'all didn't know something about her, she does have a lot of clothes, but it doesn't count.
They're cheap
because
clothes.
They're cheap clothes.
They're discount clothes.
It's not a big deal.
Even this dress is like $7.
She's a minimalist.
Damn.
If you go to her house, there's just like nothing.
It looks like except just moved in.
The essentials. which I also admire because she doesn't see value in having
and
things.
stuff. Yeah.
But I do have to say, I'm extremely proud of Nina because from where she started, she didn't have confidence in who she was, where she was going, you know, was kind of lost in her career, to a full-blown entrepreneur running $1 million company, which is the paper.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Like, just in a matter of a year. Yeah, a matter of a year. So her life changed dramatically. And that's because she was also disciplined and she listened and she took baby steps and did all the things. It's not like she did it overnight. It took a while, but look where she is now, and it's only getting better.
And that's what's funny. I remember when I sat down with Samantha also, when I was personally kind of looking to go through this journey of like cutting my debt and having more money. Samantha told me, I think he says, I'm like, you're like the fourth or fifth person that I've sat with. And she'd met with a lot of people that are like, I'm going to do this, and they don't do it.
She's the first one.
If you don't do it, your life will not change. If you like tell yourself you're going to do it, but you don't actually apply yourself, there's going to be no change. There will be no change. You actually have to go through the pain of like having nothing in your account before you will have something in your account. And I know that sounds crazy, but when I first started doing this, I want to say it was like my account went down to like probably like $32. I remember Samantha telling me like that is $32 that you have in your account. And then next month it was like, oh, I've got like $50. And then it was, oh, I have $100. Oh, I have all the way.
Going.
It keeps going because you're no longer paying on that debt. And so for me to have 2 separate accounts where I have around $2,700 saved. And again, I know it may not be a lot of money to a lot of you. For me, that is a huge, huge feat to know that something can happen and I can take care of it without having to pull out
Emergency
a loan or
mode.
Doing something. Exactly, that whole emergency fund that
or
she
borrowing
preaches all
from
the
your
time.
cousin.
I ain't got to borrow anything, thankfully. Thank God.
Yep, so that is just a little bit of the chisme of how La Prensa and Heartfire came together and just some of the progress that's been made and
a lot of progress.
The financial stability that Nina has now, and
totally.
it's exciting to see.
And the other thing too, if there's any business owners that are tuning in, small business owners, and I hope Sam doesn't mind me saying this because this is all live, is if you have questions, if you have an operating budget that you need to lower, reach out to us. We've been there and we've done that now, and we've somehow managed to do it successfully. And I know it sounds crazy because like, well, what experience does she have? She's done it in a year, but again, we've done it. We've seen expenses from a company. We've seen what can be cut. We've made it happen. La Prensa should not be here right now. There's no reason why I should still be publisher of La Prensa.
By the grace of God.
Literally by the grace of God.
Still open.
And not only that, last year was the first year in 4 years that La Prensa saw a profit. It was minimal, but we saw a profit. And again, it all came from the concept of minimizing debt, working within your means, living within your means, and applying this not only to your personal life, but to your business life as well.
Yep, that's how it all went down. So, yay! Team Heartfire and La Prensa. Team Samina. Hashtag Samina. So, thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you for Nina for joining us.
Thank you. Are you kidding me?
So, go to my channel, youtube.com/heartfiremedia210 to see all of our videos and all of the video blogs that I just started, and I hope you enjoyed. So, see you next week.